everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Abigail. I'm our staff fodder specialist here at Farm Tech. A quick bit about me. I have been here at Farm Tech since my days as an intern while I was still in college. Needless to say, I am very blessed to do what I love, and I appreciate the opportunity to still be actively involved in the American ag industry. I grew up on a small potato farm up in Maine, so that hard work and dedication of the American farmer is definitely ingrained in my soul. You'll see my contact information there on the screen. My personal extension is 246 off of any of the 800 numbers, or you can email me, A as in Abigail, and then my last name, Tobey, Tobey, at farmtech.com. Quickly, outline of what we're hoping to accomplish today. We're going to give you a background of FarmTech as a company, what fodder is, how you're supposed to use it, how it's created, means of sanitizing the process, why we believe you should choose FarmTech, and then, of course, as Nicole mentioned, we will have that active Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you're brand new to us at FarmTech, welcome, welcome. We are the leading manufacturer of agricultural buildings, high tunnels, greenhouses here in the U.S., a privately held company established in '79. I work in our South Windsor, Connecticut offices, which is the image in the upper right corner of your screen. It's where the company was founded. And then Dyersville, Iowa is our beautiful, I believe it's 43-acre facility in Dyersville, and it's absolutely beautiful. You can take tours. It's where we have our current CEA classes. All of our manufacturing and distribution is from this facility, so it's always great to check it out. So, on to the meat and potatoes of today's conversation. First and foremost, what is fodder exactly? By definition, fodder is any foodstuff grown specifically for livestock and given to them rather than what they can forage themselves. By sprouting the seed, we're taking it from a brown food to a green food. You're increasing the digestibility through this sprouting and germination process. Grains can be roughly 30% digestible. In a sprouted fodder, you're going to see 75 to 80% digestibility. And that's simply by transforming the starches into more simple sugars. It's great for most any type of domesticated livestock, cattle, goats, sheep, horses, pigs, chickens, llamas, deer, rabbits, and much, much more. So we would love to see you incorporate it onto your operation. And all of the fodder is edible. There is no waste, including the root mat, which is where the majority of nutrient is held. So the beauty behind fodder, and this is something that I'm so proud of, is that it's a fresh, living green food that you provide every day. It allows you, the farmer, rancher, operator, to be fully in control of your feeding regimen. You get a controllable growth cycle, very minimal daily maintenance. Fodder systems are a wonderful addition to any operation. Not to mention, it's a substantial space savings. Rather than working on acres of land, you're going to be maneuvering around compact units. The footprint of a standard 2.0 will be approximately 5 by 13. The expanded models require an extra 2 foot of width to accommodate for the additional channels per tier. And our micro system, which is the smallest 2.0 model that we currently offer, utilizes 6-foot channels. And again, just trying to facilitate your daily need. The units are all modular, so they're meant to attach together over time. In the 2.0 model lines, we carry 7 different stock models that we can mix and match, ranging from 60 pounds to 375 pounds of daily output. The expected benefits are seemingly endless, and we are finding new ones every day, but a lot of the hot points are right here on your screen. You see a significant feed cost savings, and a higher nutritional value means healthier animals. You're going to maximize any investment you're currently making into grain, because for every pound of seed, you produce over 7 pounds of fodder. So if you're already buying a rolled or processed equivalent, buy the whole, sprout it, and your animals will really respond. one of only a handful of American-made options at this time. It's been popular overseas for decades, but still kind of picking up steam here in the U.S. FarmTech offers a very basic system, typically costing less than half of what our competition is charging. The fodder systems, again, are modular, so you can start with a small portion of what your overall need would be and expand as you acclimate and as your comfort level allows. We do carry a 20-year warranty on our systems, and we provide everything to our customers built to suit you, where we aim to spec the system and the project as a whole based around your unique farm, your application, where you are geographically in the country, because of course the scenario in Texas is going to be vastly different than one in Maine. So on to the design. First we'll talk about the 2.0 models, which again, where we carry the 7 stock units. The tree is made from a 1.5-inch square steel conduit. It's structural steel, what we make our buildings out of, and operates in 12-foot long channels, with the exception of the micro, of course, which has the 6-footers. Removal of the fodder, super easy. Just roll it up like a sleeping bag, and when you hit the tier above, just cut the root mat with a straight razor and take it off piece by piece. Very manageable. This is an open system, so we use the water once, and then it's drained or alleviated from the system. I always encourage my customers to capture that wastewater and use it elsewhere on the farm, particularly to water their animals. It's got a fantastic nutrient profile to it, and I kind of consider it the animal's little Flintstone vitamin, if you will. The channels are all fully UV stabilized. The interior of the channels, as well as the end caps, are NSF certified and rated for human consumption, so you can ensure that no chemicals or nitrates, leads, etc. will emit into your feed. You'll notice here on this slide we have 2 tier sizes available in the 2.0 lines. We have a 7-tier system on the fulls and a 4-tier system on the minis and also the micro. This allows you to have that daily output available every day of the week. Rather than having to buy 7 modules, we give you 7 growing days on one. The 2.0 fodder systems will include, of course, all of your channels, your framework, your interior supply and drain components, your bags and buckets for seed preparation, your seed spreaders, and then from there we take it on the per customer basis. Again, use what you've got, and you can buy from us what would be additionally and supplementally required. Drum roll, please. Introducing our brand new Fodder Pro 3.0 commercial systems. We're very excited. These systems are now available for pre-order, and we have had a tremendous success with them thus far. They were designed with being able to harvest, clean, and reseed the channels for 1 ton in 1 man-hour. So basically, we want you to get in there, get out of there, and go back to all those other things that fill your to-do list there on the farm. We currently have 2 modules available in the 3.0 line, a 750-pound per day unit and an 1,150-pound per day unit. Again, modular, so we can attach multiples together to create a higher capacity output. Turnkey solutions are available as well, and we'll address those a bit more in just a moment. Here we go. So the turnkey solutions are going to include an insulated building, the growing systems themselves, the grow lights, your HVAC system for heating and cooling. It's going to include all of your doors, access points, vinyl strip doors, roll-up doors, all of that. The customer will need to supply a pad or an insulated base for the building to go on. And seed preparation and material handling equipment will be sold separately. So just give us a call and we can walk you through all of the recommended accessories. The 750-pound per day units will harvest 14 trays daily. So you have 2 vertical rows of 7 trays. The 1150 has 3 vertical rows of 7 trays, so totaling 21 in your daily operation. But that's all meant to be right there in front of you. So maybe a step to the left or a step to the right, but your daily workspace is going to be pretty compact. So again, more so on the turnkey and 3.0 systems. Um, the units themselves are going to be about 7 foot deep. The 750-pound units are approximately 20 feet long. The 1150s are approximately 30 feet long. And so that allows you to have, individual pods, if you will, of the 2 or 3 channel setups for one for every day of the week. The channels themselves are the same UV stabilized NSF certified that we use on our 2.0 model lines. They're just a slightly different size. The 3.0 systems will be 16 inches wide and about 6 foot 3 inches long. And these systems will include all of your irrigation and drain manifold plumbings, all of your guttering systems, all of the necessary components to automate irrigation. Here is a quick snapshot of a 2.0 installation. In this application, the timers, solenoid valve, pressure regulator are still sold separately. So if you have questions or are unsure as to which products need to go with which system, by all means, give us a shout. That's what we're here for, and we'd be delighted to hear from you. So some basic recommended accessories. And of course, with the turnkey solutions, the majority of these accessories would be included for you. But it's always good to know what you'll be receiving. So grow lighting to promote photosynthesis. The chlorophyll that's produced is a great blood cleanser. We recommend an air pump and air stones so that you can aerate the seeds and sanitize them in a natural fashion rather than having to use bleach or chlorine or something to that effect. We have, of course, commercial seed soakers for a much higher capacity that will go with the 3.0 model lines. So whatever your need may be and whatever capacity you may require, we do aim to fit that bill. So this is a quick breakdown of a barley grain trial that we did. Barley is very, very popular fodder seed as it's all natural and it's well balanced quite naturally with proteins, fats, and energies. We can get a 1 to 7 yield very easily on barley. My other top seeds, just as an FYI, would be wheat, rye, oats, and triticale. Those 5 are quite comparable amongst themselves. But here we're just taking you through the math and how we got the 1 to 7 yield. And again, that's a tremendous maximization of any investment that you're making into your current feed costs. Quick snapshot on estimated feed capacities. This is for our 2.0 product line. Those are the units that will be running the 12-foot channels with the exception of the micro. That's the 6-foot. Here's an estimate for the 3.0 capacities. All of the numbers that you're seeing here are based off of 2% of the animal's estimated body weights. So in a 750-pound unit, if you have 200-pound animals, 2% of 200 pounds is 4 pounds. So 750 divided by 4 will give us the approximate head count. So just to give you a background in how we come to these numbers. All right. The ideal growing environment. Where can you grow fodder? Anywhere. From Texas to Alaska, I have not yet met a farm that I can't make fodder appropriate. So I would love to work with you. Of course, square footage costs money. So if you've already invested in square footage and it is not being utilized, i.e. a garage or a shed, a basement, an outbuilding, if we can use what you have, then we can just supplement where you would need and keep your initial investment lower. Optimum conditions are going to include humidity between 40 and 80%, temperature between 60 and 75 degrees. We want to have steady air movement. Circulating fans are your best friend when it comes to fodder production. So if you have questions about how to create this environment, again, contact us. That's what we're here for. Growing potable water is key. It is a hydroponic system. That's really one of the anchor points here. We want to sanitize the seeds before putting them in the trays. Of course, we promote doing that in an all natural fashion with aeration stones. And then we want to provide grow lighting for anywhere from 4 to 18 hours per day. Water doesn't really get much more um, value from the light after the 18-hour mark. And we can use ambient natural light or artificial grow lighting, again, based around the customer's needs. And once you've set the seeds into the system, try not to touch them. And I speak from personal experience. It is very inviting to get in there and feel it out, but try not to disturb it. It will help expedite the growing process as well as ensure that you have a nice, durable root mat. Sanitization. I do not need it to be a surgical clean. It just has to be sanitary. So kind of use that tried and true common sense. And if you're mucking stalls, don't go right into the fodder room. Maybe take your jacket off and just kind of follow, basic biosecurity that you're probably already utilizing on your farm. Try not to touch the seeds with your bare hands. Make certain that we sanitize the channels between harvests. And of course, sanitizing the seeds before we put them in the system is a huge protectant as well. If you have any questions about how to properly maintain the area or how to install vapor type wall covering so that you can spray it down and wash it more easily, by all means contact us. So livestock improvements, and this is kind of looping back to the benefits of fodder. Um, the majority of domesticated livestock are browsers and grazers by nature. They're very much designed to utilize a green feed. So by providing that to them, we're capitalizing on their digestive design and allowing them to really thrive and do for us what their bodies were designed and intended to do. So by meeting their net energies for maintenance almost immediately with the increased digestibility and nutrient availability, these animals can get their energies for lactation and gain much more readily. So you really see them kind of take it to the next step, if you will. To quickly cover a few points, you're going to see better quality milks, better heat cycles, better quality pregnancies, healthier immune systems overall. You're not going to be spending so much money on the vet, which is always nice. It's a great transitional feed for a young stock when they're coming off of mama's milk onto more traditional feed because it's so high in moisture. And again, just providing a living green protein to these animals. That's what their bodies were looking for. Why choose FarmTech? FarmTech is a well-established company, again, over 30 years in the American ag industry. Our president and CEO is a former farmer and still comes to work 6 days a week. We offer over 30,000 products. So even if it's not listed in our catalog, we can do outreach with existing companies that we have relationships with and see if we can procure that product for you just based on our relationship. So we really, from the beginning process and the research stages all the way through the end, we aim to support you in whatever process and whatever stage you're at. Myself, as the staff fodder specialist, I have a team of sales representatives as well as a team of customer service representatives dedicated exclusively to the fodder line. So 6 days a week, we are here to service your needs. Sorry, we're closed on Sunday. FarmTech's financing is an extremely unique program that we offer here in that it's in-house financing. We don't use any outside banking facilities, so no Bank of America or Wachovia. It's our president and CEO puts up his money on the good word our customers will pay us back. So these plans are offered fully interest-free for 3 to 5 years, depending on the order total. We also have shorter terms, like 4 or 6 months, same as cash. And that, again, just allows us to work with the customer and with your comfort level and really how you prefer to move forward with a project on your farm. So that concludes the hot points for the presentation today, but we had a lot of questions come in while I was chatting, so we're going to break for just a moment, and we're going to get the Q&A loaded up, and I will be right back. But thank you all again for joining us for the presentation today. It's always a pleasure. My contact information there again on the screen, direct extension 246. My email address, atoby@farmtech.com. If you find yourself on foddersystems.com and you have a question, click the Contact Us form. That form will come straight to myself and the second in command in the fodder sales department. So either of us would be more than happy to return your inquiry post-haste. All right, so we're going to get to these rapid fire, folks. Thank you for your participation. Customer question, has a room with incandescent lights existing, and what type of bulbs would be best for this room and what wattage? We have this great, I believe it's a 55-watt full spectrum compact fluorescent. So it's one of those spirally spring bulbs, but it screws right into an incandescent socket and it duplicates natural sunlight without the harmful UV rays. So that's what I would recommend is a 55-watt CFL full spectrum. And if you wanted higher or lower wattages because of the requirement of the fixture, then we can explore that as well. Do you need an air-conditioned building? Depends where you are in the country and how you want to set up the facility. If it's super insulated, then we may not need to run an air conditioner. But if it's pretty open and broad to the elements, then we may need to explore that. I'd love to discuss it in a little greater detail. If you wanted to contact me, it would be a pleasure. How long does a biscuit last after it's harvested? I can't believe I didn't answer that question in the presentation. My apologies. After you harvest the fodder, you should use it within 48 hours. If you cannot use it within 48 hours, standard refrigeration will keep it fresh for 10 to 14 days. How much fodder can replace feed for horses? Fodder is fed at 2% of an animal's live body weight, especially in the equine industry. Over 2%, you can increase your opportunity for colic or founder. At 2% of their live body weight, you should also be providing 1% in roughage, just to facilitate digestion, keep their mouths busy. We don't want them cribbing on their stalls or each other. So, for example, a 1,000-pound horse can eat 20 pounds of fodder and 10 pounds of hay. The hay is no longer for nutritional format, so it doesn't have to be that top quality that you're purchasing currently. Fodder is meant to be a grain and pellet replacement. It is a pasture and hay supplement. What is the water usage per pound of fodder from seed soak to harvest? Well, that's going to really depend on your microclimate and where exactly we've set up the system. The 2.0 models use about 3.5 gallons per channel per day. And when you're soaking the seed can increase in water weight approximately 30%. So I'd love to go through all of the numbers a little more specifically with you, so that way we're dialing in on exactly your operation and your numbers rather than somebody 5 states away. Let's see here. What type of nutrients do you use in the system? A very common question. None. Repeat, no nutrients, no fertilizers, nothing to inject, all natural. It can actually even be certified organic if you have an organic operation, and that's because of the NSF certification on our channels. It's extremely high quality. But being that we're utilizing the nutrients that Mother Nature naturally gave that seed, about 14 days worth, we harvest after 7. So there's no additional nutrients required because the seeds aren't looking for any additional nutrients. I understand that you can freeze the fodder. How long can you freeze it for? Um, we are not encouraging freezing it for more than approximately 2 weeks. That's the longest we've tested. But we'd be happy to continue our testing processes. If you had a suggestion, I'd be happy to relay it to my greenhouse manager. Do you have a seed provider that you work with? We don't have a particular seed company that we work with. However, I do have a list of nationwide seed suppliers as well as those that service specific states more directly. So if you need assistance in finding seed, by all means, contact us. We'd be happy to get you that information and the links to those folks' websites. When you feed it to chickens, will you have to feed them anything besides it? That's really a personal preference of the customer. It is considered a full fodder feed, a full complete diet for the chickens. Sometimes if you have layers, you will need to supplement with a little oyster shell come the tail end of their life just to help reinforce eggshell quality. Um, but no, it can be a cohesive feed for chickens if you wanted it to be. What is the estimated man hours per day for the expanded full size system? Well, the expanded 2.0 is going to have 6 channels in daily operation. Now, when you're first setting up the system and acclimating to it, you're probably going to invest about 10 minutes per channel. So that's about an hour. Um, Once you acclimate and you get your routine in place and if you're not listening to your iPod dancing around, then you should be able to cut that time investment in half. So in an ideal world, you should be in and out in 30 minutes or less. Do you remove the channels to wash them, or can they be washed in place? The choice is yours. They are not secured into the system, so you can remove them and wash them, or you can leave them right there. If you leave them in the system, please be mindful of any gray water that you may be dripping onto lower tiers. Um, but that's really a decision of the operator, and it comes down to how much labor and time you want to invest in working with the system. Working with the channel is the most labor-intensive portion, so if you're looking to expedite it, then I would suggest just leaving them right in the system. What if I can't get barley in my area? Very common issue recently. There are alternate seeds that we can utilize and get comparable nutritional profile. And you can download forage reports from our foddersystems.com website under the fodder feeds section. But again, my first string fodder players, if you will, would be barley, wheat, rye, oats, and triticale. And again, you want to be looking for a whole and an untreated seed. It can be planting seed or feed seed or even malting, but it needs to be whole and untreated. Do you have more detailed information than what is in your catalog? Absolutely. And we're getting more information daily from our customer feedback and research trials that we're still continuing in Iowa. So at any time, you can hop over to foddersystems.com. That is an informational website only. You can call us at extension 1267 off of the 800 number. That will take you to any of the fodder sales representatives. 246 will bring you straight to my desk. Again, this is Abigail, and we can provide you with any information that you're looking for and facilitate any type of additional research with seed suppliers or so forth that you may need. Do you have a conservative estimate as to cost per pound to produce? Yes. On average, when you take into consideration commodity pricing for a metric ton of barley, national averages for the cost of propane fuel to run a heater and electricity and water, um, even a moderate labor charge, conservatively, it's costing you 10 cents per pound to produce. Um, Most customers can get that down to 7 cents per pound to produce. So it's tremendous savings. In the 2.0, how much seeds go in the tray? In the 2.0, depending on your germination rate, you're going to use between 7 and 9 pounds of dry seed. And the seed will increase in weight after the soaking process, so it's always important to weigh the seed prior to putting it in the bucket for soaking purposes. Uh, But yes, you're going to use between 7 and 9 pounds of seed, and that should hit right about the quarter to half inch depth marks on the interior of the channel. That is going to conclude our presentation today. Again, a tremendous thank you to everybody for attending. I appreciate the opportunity to um, start your research or to facilitate your research or just jump in on you. Please let us know if you have any questions or concerns. It would be a pleasure to work with you, and I hope you have a phenomenal day.